Rise with Generaider. This is your time to shine. Slouser, YouTube, let's go. Hajime. We have Generaider going first. We're baiting with the Pathfinder because we already have the field spell. We didn't even need that search. Most good players are always baiting out hand traps. You want to make the unoptimal play before you go into the optimal plays. Force them to use the hand traps. Don't make your best plays first. Don't tunnel vision into your main goal. Fake them out. We didn't search for Rise Heart. We didn't make a Rise Heart. And it is a little bit of cached here with mostly Generaider, as we thought. Got double imperm, setting it up optimally into the pendulum scale zone. So you can turn off pendulum scales if you're playing against that. Let's do it. All right. The opponent drew a card, which triggers the field spell to summon a Har from the deck, which then triggers the field spell to summon a token in every open spot we have. The Har has the ability to negate any card effect. And if they add a card from their deck to their hand, it will trigger to force them to send a monster to the grave. This is not a regular Snake Eye deck, though. This is Tearlament Snake Eye? Huh? Triva Karma being sent to the graveyard to come forth and summon Diablo Star. Triva Karma is really good for searching for the planet field spell for Tearlament, but we already have it. So what are we searching with that Triva Karma? Diablo Star getting negated from setting up an original Sinful to summon a level 1 fire from the deck. Unicorn triggering to banish there. One of Kick Kalos banished, face down, gone forever. Triva Karma now searching. We're going to banish, grabbing a Tearlament Scream, which will trigger on the summon of a Tearlament, forcing them to send Diablo Star to the graveyard through the effect of the Har, which I said we still have an Omni negate with Har. What are we negating? Poplar getting negated. We have no chainable effect to get the Poplar to dodge that impermanence. Double imperm. Has the Fenrir activated? Yeah, the Fenrir has not activated yet, which right now it's triggering. So imperm, unicorn, Fenrir, Har, negates. Just like that. Generaider with a little bit of Kashtira taking game one. Let's get to it. Generaider going second after winning. We have Havness activatable if a monster activates on the field from the opponent. Diablo Star is going to be doing full combo. So let's do the full Snake Eye combo. Let's speed on through it since we don't want to see all of it. Setting up the original Sinful from the deck. Now let's talk about what we have. What is good? Do we have a random snow in the grave here? We do have the quick effect to spin 3 cards from either player's graveyard back into the deck, which without a field spell is not really disruption unless we are required to be using our own graveyard. We have negate a special summon, negate a monster with impermanence, permanently negate with Sulliek, and we don't have a Tearlament in the hand to reborn the Rhino to then trigger another fusion. So you have about just triple disruption, but with the Scream, we may randomly mill into a fusion trigger. Let's go. So can we play through 3 plus the Maxi? We do have the Crossout Designate with no way to stop the Crossout Designate. Very nicely done. So we are just gonna have to play through those 3 disruptions. Now, Unicorn's a special summon that the Rukalos cannot negate because it does not start a chain link. Triggering the Scream, sending from the deck to the grave. Tearlament Kashtira is going to be milling additional card. Oh my gosh, curious also. So the Scream is mill 3, mill 6, mill 8 cards. We're going to mill an additional 5 right now. No good. Okay. Actually, that's good. The Scream searching for a Tearlament card now allows us to use the Sulliek to send the Rhino Heart to discard the newly added card to then trigger the Rhino to trigger a fusion summon. So from 3 disruption, that should be now 4. Unicorn trigger, and we did actually trigger a fusion here through our 8 mills. Very nicely done. Imperm negate the Unicorn from looking at the extra deck to banish a card face down. And I guess is about probably maybe 5 disruptions depending on what we summon with the Sharon. Let's see what's good. We are going to be returning 3 back in the deck to come forth and summon Kaleido Heart. Kaleido Heart on summon will spin the Unicorn back in the deck, but do we actually want to do that? We don't, because it then opens them up to summon another Kashtira from the hand, which we don't know that they have. So instead, by leaving the Kaleido Heart in the field, you want to trigger the effect by simply using the trap. So the trap could send Kaleido, which will trigger to reborn Kaleido, send from the deck, and spin a card in the field back in the deck. So we have right now, after the impermanence, Disrupt, Disrupt, double Disrupt. Theosis is here, and also the Rukalos. Rukalos negate the effect of Special Summon. It is a hard once per turn effect, so another copy would not be good. And we use Rukal to send Kaleido instead of the Sulliek. So that is going to be sending the Hovness from the deck to the grave, come forth and Fusion Summon into Kit Cal. We can't fuse again. That is, the ceiling of tier limit is just 2 Fusion Summons in 1 turn, where the TCG could perform 3, but Kit Kalos is banned. So still, we're going to be adding a tier limit Kashtira from the deck to our hand here. We have Lopter, which cannot be negated by the Sulliek, now summoning a Har. Har is not going to be doing much. It's just 2,500 attack right now. Sending the Sulliek, using the Sulliek to, I should say, destroying the Rhino Heart. And now, due to the Kaleido Heart being triggered right now because of, what does it say? If an Aqua monster is sent to the graveyard, by card effect, you can target a card in the field to get spinning. So it's either on its summon or when the Aqua is sent to the grave. So we made sure that happened right here, right now. We're going to spin back the Har. Kit Cal is also going to be milling 5 cards, which could maybe get us a Fairy Tale Snow in the grave. No Fairy Tale Snow. We're good. Generaider boss stage. But the Rukalos will simply negate the effect of the card if we read it and make sure it can negate an effect and not just the card or effect. If it said spell or trap card or monster effect, it would not be able to negate the field spell. So it's very good that it does not have that. We're going to be searching for a tier limit field spell to use next turn. Now, we already used the effect of the Rukalos to negate this turn, and because you added a card from your deck to your hand that triggers the other effect of the Generaider, which is the main effect that you were supposed to be negating next turn, so adding this right now during the end phase was a mistake. But it's okay, not a big deal. Now, Rukalos negate, but Har negate, but Har can't negate unless you have 2 monsters to tribute, 2 Generaider to negate the Rukalos from negating and destroying the Generaider boss stage. And that is it, sending the Kaleido trigger, Reborn. Unicorn also look at the opponent's extra deck. Gonna use the Sulliek, which will likely send the Rukalos, which will then Reborn the Rukalos. We're also gonna spin a card in the field. We're gonna trigger a fusion. Yeah, tier used to be tier 0 for this reason. It looks like it's tier 0 through these plays right now. We're also triggering the Curious to mill an additional 3 cards, spinning that Har back in the deck, triggering the Hovness to fuse, Rukal come back and Reborn from the grave. Very well done. And just like that, Rukalos also protected all the other effects from being negated by a card like, let's say, Ghost Spell. Mood Dragon it up. And our entire field of water monsters are untargetable. We could change the Mood Dragon to dark, then the Kaleido Heart would be untargetable. Also triggering the Scream. Why are we even in this duel still? I have no freaking idea. Meta Noise trigger, grab back in grave. Hey, Sharon, let's speed this up. Please finish this duel. We only have 14,000 damage on the field. And just like that, Farofa taking game number 2. All right, that's fine. Let's, Generaider, pick yourself back up. You are Kashtira and Generaider. You may not be playing a Rise Heart. I think you're not playing a Rise Heart, but being able to get that early Unicorn, banish the Kit Kalos from the extra deck, that's going to be big. So we need early Unicorn, banish Kit Cal, and we win game number 3. We have Generaider going first, and what I said was very important for Generaider was to open up that Unicorn. We're now using Imperm to negate, so that's going to be good where we could use Ash later within this turn, and then we would have to Imperm the Unicorn anyway, because if we lose that Kit Kalos, we are screwed. But it's going to be difficult to stop the Unicorn again during our own turn. How do we get to our Kit Cal without Unicorn banishing it face down? We're going to be using our Vala to discard a Generaider to then Reborn a Generaider from the graveyard after its summon. Lopter is going to be sending itself to the graveyard to summon from the deck a Generaider. We have Called by the Grave, fingering the Ash, negate. Now, this is where I believe we go into Mardell will search for the Generaider boss stage. And then off of that, we're going to have, I think, just 1 disruption. Yeah, it's fine. Now, the Call by the Grave works for 2 turns, so the new Ash being used on the Generaider boss stage from summoning from the deck will already be negated. So we're going to have to hold on to that finger. We have double disruption. We have the Leviathan. Leviathan is non-target, suck up to 2 cards on the field or in the graveyards, which also works against tier limit. So if a tier limit triggers in the graveyard to fusion summon, this could suck it up in response to that activation, then no fusion summon happens. So we have a negate plus non-target suck, And the finger against Tear Limit, we have to count this as another disruption. It is a third disruption. Ash should be usable here, but we are fingered at the moment. Har is that Omni Negate we're talking about. And let's fill the field with tokens. Now, Unicorn's not really disruption, but banishing a Kick Callus face down from the extra deck, it's over, right? Yeah, Poplar, grab the Subversion. Unicorn trigger, also triggering the Har. So with Har, they're forcing them to send a monster to the grave, which will just be Ash. Or maybe we just send Poplar, then re-equip Poplar. But right now, we are losing our Kick Callus. Huge. And we still have that 3 disruption after all these activations. These were not counted as disruptions. Subversion, pushing the Leviathan, one of the main disruptions, into the back row. We're going to chain its effect to get sucking. Non-target suck 2 cards, sucking the Subversion itself and the Poplar. We're now down to Har and Finger. Finger and Har. Snake Eye Chase is going to set up a Diablo Star into the back row to then send to the graveyard to summon another Diablo Star. Diablo Star not activating. Jormungar is going to be forcing both players to draw. And then, now, this is not really disruption. We chose to give them our Diablo Star. It's optional. We could give them the card in our hand instead. So we still just have 2 disruption. Har and the Finger. Return Subversion, draw a card. We didn't even have to negate with Har. We didn't have any Tear Limit to Finger. It just like that, Generaider advancing into the tournament, defeating Tear Limit Snake Eye post-ban list.